Welcome to Larry the Alchemist, and on today's episode, ranking the songs on AC/DC's Powerage album. Yes, I pronounced that correctly for the longest. Forever, I didn't know how to pronounce this title. A lot of people say Powerage, Powerage. But I heard an interview with Angus. This is right from Angus, where they went through each one of the albums and he said a couple words on each one of the records, and he talked about the title. And the title is Power Age, like the age of power. It's just that they don't really put a put a space in it there. If they had put a space, it would have made more sense. That red dot here is coming from my microphone. I mentioned my old microphone. My other microphone is down and out at the moment. So Power Age. This album is kind of a fan favorite in a lot of ways. It's like it didn't sell as much as Highway to Hell, didn't sell as much as Dirty Deeds or even High Voltage. But a lot of fans really love this record. So do I. It's kind of like there's a dark horse record of the Bon Scott era. So this wasn't easy to do. This is a 10 out of 10 record for me. Interesting. This is from the same photo session as the cover of Highway to Hell. I never knew that, but kind of makes sense when you see it now. Or they used this later on for the Highway to Hell album cover. So this wasn't easy to do. 10 out of 10 record. I'm also using the German version of this album that has an extra track on it called Cold Hearted Man. AC/DC was kind of, during this era, there were Australian versions of the album. Well, this is a particular version that it not only does it has an extra song on it, it actually has a different mix. So if you've never, and in some ways I kind of prefer this one more. If you've never heard this, definitely check it out. If you've never heard Cold Hearted Man, definitely check it out. So we've got 10 songs because of that extra song here. I'm going to read them down to you. Side 1, Rock and Roll Damnation, Give Me a Bullet, Down Payment Blues, Gone Shootin', Riff Raff. Side 2, Sin City, Up to My Neck in You, What's Next to the Moon, Cold Hearted Man, and Kicked in the Teeth. All right, here we go from my least favorite to my favorite. Number 10 for me, Up to My Neck in You. Like I said, there's no songs on this record that I don't like, but Up to My Neck in You kind of sounds like something they just sort of threw together in the studio. It's pretty much a blues format, a blues style. I like the energy in it and everything, but for me, it's just because it's just kind of like a standard 12-bar blues rock thing. It lands at the bottom of my list. Number 9, the namesake of the AC/DC podcast that I do with Martin Popoff, Kicked in the Teeth, an AC/DC podcast. Make sure you check that out. I'll leave that linked in the description down below. This is another one that kind of follows that blues format. I like kind of the start-stop thing in the beginning of it. Bond sounds great on it. The guitar solos are great on it. But it kind of lands here at number 9 for me because, again, it kind of just follows like a kind of a standard blues thing. It reminds me a whole lot of Rosie a little bit, like with the way the intro is, the chords and Bond sings, the riff, Bond sings. All right, number 8, Gone Shootin'. This one, I really like this one for its feel. It has a different feel to it. It has this kind of laid back feel. That main guitar of ooh dat 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 dee dat. It's almost kind of funky, almost disco-y in a weird kind of way. The way that beat is and the way the bass is just kind of chugging along, and the guitars are just kind of pretty restrained until the chorus comes in. I love Bond's delivery in this one. My baby's gone shooting, I took a number in another town. She took another pill. It's great, his lyrics of this. She was running in overdrive. I just love his the way he sings those lines. Just the feel of the song is great. Pretty much from this point out, I love all of these songs. They're all kind of 10 out of 10s for me. Number 7, I'm going to go with the extra song that's on here, Cold Hearted Man. If you've never heard this song, please check it out. A lot of the songs that on the Australian versions of the records that don't make it onto the international versions, to me, are very forgettable. Rock in Peace, Crabsity in Blue. But this is a great, great song, and I have no idea why they didn't put it on the regular international version of this album. The lyrics are great. They're kind of about this guy down on his luck. No one knew where he came from, and no one really cared, type of thing. He's a cold-hearted man. The chorus is great in it, and there's a part at the end there where the final chorus comes in, and Bond just goes up on the melody, cold-hearted man, cold-hearted man, like just sort of pushing his voice and everything. So cool, great. My favorite, like, sort of B-side AC/DC song, song that didn't get released on the regular records. This is on the what is that box? I forget what the box is called, that has all the extra tracks on it. So you can find this on the streaming services. 6, Down Payment Blues. This one's all about Bond for me, although I love the guitar solo in this song. I love Angus's tone on this record. It's one of my favorite lead tones, even guitar tones in general, I might even go as far to say. But this one is Bond. It's Bond doing his kind of like ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire. I got holes in my shoes, that type of vibe. I got no money. I got the down payment blues. It's that part at the end of the song where everything kind of stops and they go into that funky bluesy thing that fades out on. It's so cool. So that comes in at number 6 for me. Number 5, Give Me a Bullet. This is another one that, like Gone Shooting, it has this kind of interesting feel to it. It's almost like this funky blues, like ZZ Top kind of like blues groove to it that I think is really cool. That main riff, don't do that, it is really awesome. Bond's vocals in it again, operator, long distance lips on the telephone. That line. I'm not quite sure what he's singing about. Give me a bullet to bite on, something to chew. Give me a bullet to bite on. I'll make believe it's you. I really don't know what it means, but it sounds really cool, and the way he delivers it is just great. So that's why it ranks high up on the list for me. All right, number 4. What's Next to the Moon? This is another one where the lyrics are just great in this way. Bond sort of plays with this, Clark Kent looking for a free ride, Kim Lois Lane. The way he sings that is just great. The whole vibe of the song. I love the last verse, where on this particular version of the record, they don't have this background vocal, which is really disappointing. But on the international one, where he goes into long, hard looking for fingerprints, and there's like this lower voice in it. It's just, oh man, I love it. It's your love that I want. Da, 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 da. It's your love. The way the verses drop down like that is just great. And sort of, again, the weird kind of lyrics to it, the imagery and everything in the lyrics, I just think is great. So that one, definitely love that one. Number 4. Number 3, Rock and Roll Damnation. This is a one that, a short one. You can kind of tell that they were kind of writing one that radio one. It's got some hand claps in it. I think it's got a shaker in it too. So you can tell that they were kind of thinking like maybe a single here, where although AC/DC was never really a singles band, you can kind of tell that maybe they were thinking that here. And it's a great catchy number. I wish this song got played more on classic rock radio because it deserves it. But I just love the feel of it. I love the lyrics. The chorus is super catchy. I like the vibe of it. It almost has like a Stonesy country rock vibe to that main riff. I always think like very Rolling Stones, Keith Richards. Like you could picture Keith Richards with that main riff. You say that you want too much, baby, that's tough. It's just a great song, man. Super catchy, love it. That's why it comes in so high for me. Number 2, Riff Raff. Man, this is one, it's got a little bit of everything here. It's got a killer riff. I love the opening on it, the way it starts, the way it builds, and the whole band kicks in. And that main riff there is one of AC/DC's more kind of finger twisting weird riff, and then the way it's sort of everything holds out there, and it's just drums of love it. And Bond, when he comes in, I kind of wish there was another verse in this song, because I just love his delivery in here and his lyrics. Barman trying to tell me beginning of the end, said it'll bend me, too late, my friend. I mean, that's just great stuff. The weather down in Mexico, that all that is just great. What's the last verse? I'm trying to think it. I ain't looking for trouble. Man, I can't remember the last verse here. You know what? I'm gonna splice this in because I want to remember this. All right, I didn't need to splice it in. As soon as I stopped the video, I remembered it. Here's a little behind the scenes thing. Maybe this is just me, but when I start recording the videos, my mind always goes blank on these things, and I start to panic in my head, like, "Oh my god, I can't remember that lyric or whatever," and it just causes me to freeze up. But anyways, that last verse that comes in. Now I'm the kind of guy that keeps his big mouth shut. It don't bother me. Somebody kicking me when I'm up. Leave me in misery. That is just great, man. Love it, love it, love it. And the guitar playing in this one, man, the guitar solo in this is absolutely killer. Angus just going on one of my favorite Angus Lees. This is just a great, great song. Super high energy. The different sections to it, the intro and everything. Love it. That's why it comes in at number 2 for me. All right, number 1, the only song left is Sin City. I love when AC/DC gets dark, gets heavy. This is maybe one of my favorite heavier AC/DC songs. That opening riff is just awesome. When everything kicks in, dong, dong, bum, 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 bum. Love it. Great. The whole lyric thing. Spin that wheel, cut that grab, and roll those loaded dice. This is fantastic. That section in the middle where Angus's guitar solo, again, the guitar tone is just, man, it's like ripping out of your speakers. That is maybe one of my favorite lead guitar tones of all time. The way he builds at the end of that solo to that high note, and it's just like, boom, he hits that chord, and then he does like that little pick slide there, and just the bass, do 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 do. In Bond's vocals, when Bond comes in there, man, that is so, so cool. For the longest time when I was younger, I never knew what this meant. I thought he was saying letters in snakes. You know, I didn't understand ladders and snakes, the one-armed bandit, machines, and all that stuff. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that when I was young. But when I learned that later on, I was like, oh, man, that's so great. The way he comes in on that, you know, there's ladders and snakes. Ladders give, snakes take. The way he's kind of like almost whispering that line is just rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. And then when everything kicks in and he's, you know, fingers Freddy, Diamond Jim, better get ready. Look out, I'm coming in. When he sings that line right there, oh, I'm getting a shiver up my spine. That is so, so cool. I love this song. This is one of my favorite AC/DC songs. Definitely my favorite song on this record. The riffing, the solo, Bond's vocals, Bond's lyrics, and it is just absolutely killer, absolutely fantastic. Love it. Okay, so there you go, ranking the 10 songs on the German version of Powerage. Let me know what you think of mine. How would you rank them, or what's your favorite songs on here, or what's your least favorites? Let me know in the description down below. And until we see you again, make sure you rock hard, right free.